Radio Free Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 708. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
This we're rolling on with our Series 11 commentaries this week with the Tsuranga Conundrum with my spouse, Erika, from Verity podcast, who demanded that she do this one because she knew that no one else could love this episode as much as she does, and she's probably right. But because she was pretty much the only person who left up who wanted to talk about it. But hey, we have fun with the commentary, and I quite like it. So stay tuned for that. I will warn you, though, at the end of that commentary recording, which we recorded, back in July, I think it was?
Yeah,
late July?
It was a while back, yeah.
We're under the assumption that Doctor Who would be at New York Comic Con and that we would pause the commentaries to talk about that next week because there would be a big Doctor Who thing at New York Comic Con. There's no big Doctor Who thing at New York Comic Con either.
Well, there's Christopher Eccleston's panel on the Thursday.
Yes. That's right. And New York Comic Con often broadcasts their panels as well, live over the internet. So I'll be watching for that. Of course, he had to cancel Edmonton Expo last weekend. To be honest, I as I look at that, because he was at some British online streaming site, I can't remember the name of it, but he did a maybe 20-minute interview about his book on the Friday, right? And then he was back in somewhere in the UK on the Monday, this past Monday, doing an event also talking about the book. So when I look at that, I'm going, how would he have flown? I mean, it's possible, but flying from London on Friday to Edmonton on Saturday back to London, it just feels like that. That's hell. Somebody.
I remember flying.
Yeah.
Flying from
something.
London to New York, I was exhausted.
Yeah,
and that's New York. And without adding an extra 3 hours or 2 hours, I guess.
Exactly, and then fly back again right away. So I'm speculating perhaps that might have been the reason that Eccleston had to bow out of Edmonton Expo, but whatever, it doesn't matter anymore because Christopher Eccleston is coming to Gallifrey One. Everyone, how exciting is that? The first new series Doctor coming to Gallifrey One, unless you count John Hurt. Saturday, Sunday, Chris Eccleston there for his, let's face it, his first proper Doctor Who convention. He's done the bigger ones like, the general sci-fi cons in London Film and Comic Con, but this is the big one. This is Gallifrey One, damn it. So,
point of order, I think John Hurt is the last classic Doctor. That's just my headcanon.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it, actually. Yeah, I like that you could insert a Doctor into the classic series 20 years after it's actually ended. Yeah, I like that.
Well, two of them really, because so is 8.
Yeah, 8's sort of been. He's kind of you're classic, whatever. Yeah, kind of like that.
He was my classic until Hurt showed up. Hurt's 8.5,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yeah, I consider McGann's Doctor a classic Doctor.
Yeah. Anyway, you can pre-purchase Photo Ops, VIP Talks, Diamond Pass for all of Eccleston stuff. You can get the autographs are $75, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, something like that. So it's going to be amazing. Wow, that's this has been in the works over a year trying to get Chris Eccleston to come to Gallifrey One. So that's awesome. I love that he's doing these. I actually was up awake last night and decided to dive into his book. I sort of skimmed around a little bit, read the Doctor Who bits, of course, because that's what I am. And it's an interesting book. It's the insights that he gives into Doctor Who and the insight that he has stepping away from it as he has, because it's 15 years ago now. So it's a thing in the past now to him. So to hear him talk about sort of vague things that what they are, but he probably doesn't know what the exact episode title of this is or that, or it's an interesting book. And also just like the strife and the like, his battle with anorexia and mental illness that really just sort of came to a head when he was making the A Word, where his friend Pookie Quinnell helped him out of this. He talks about it. He's known Pookie
Christmas
Quinnell
Carol's own Pookie Quinnell?
Christmas Carol and Class's own Pookie Quinnell. Yeah, is a dear friend of his. So it's a good book. I love The Bones of You, so I recommend it, picking it up. But and you could talk to Chris Eccleston about it at Gallifrey One, which is in what? How many months away is that now?
Not that far, actually.
137 days, 4 hours, 19 minutes, and 10 seconds.
I was laughing, but that's what it actually says on the Gallifrey One website.
Yeah. as we record this, yes.
At this very second. So very exciting days. Chris Eccleston devoted a whole guest announcement to himself, which is apt, I feel. So Ninth Doctor at Gallifrey One. I do believe. Well, I mean, they released a new hotel block. Because there was a few rooms that were sort of thrown back, I think, and so some of those came up, and then but they're gone. I'm pretty sure they're sold out now. Are the tickets sold out now? I
haven't seen anything saying the tickets are sold out yet.
No, they got to be very close.
They've got to be soon. By the time this is out,
98% done, I think, is what it was on the weekend. So yeah, exciting things. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. So. If you're going to be at Gallifrey One the whole weekend anyway, so be there anyway. But it's going to be very exciting. He'll probably do the standard what they sort of do with the panels is that he does a Saturday and a Sunday panel. Go to one or the other because they'll both sort of be similar. I bet you Gary Russell is probably going to be interviewing him. Hence Gary Russell's return to Gallifrey One. That's a pure guess on my part, but I can't find anyone better.
For what it's worth, in the blurb on the announcement on the Gallifrey website, it does say. Go to either one, but not both. Mm-hmm. Just to let those who want to go have the space to do so.
Exactly. Gosh, I look for it. Like in the book, also he sort of says about how the love from the fans is like helping him through, what he's been going through these past few years. Like just sort of finding out that people actually really like his Doctor and stuff, and that it's not the. There's no acrimony or anything like that. So it's helped spur him on. So I feel like the outpouring of emotion that he'll get at Gallifrey One will be quite something. It's gonna be cool.
And really, that could have gone the other way altogether. Like because he gave the show short shrift for many reasons, and fandom could have turned against him, saying, "Okay, you don't want to be involved. Fine, we don't want you." And it thankfully hasn't.
Doctor Who fandom being capricious and jerkish. I can't believe it.
Yeah, no. But no, it's very imaginable that fandom could have said, thanks, but no thanks. But no, he introduced how many people to Doctor Who, like full stop. So yeah, I'm glad fandom is still warm toward him.
I know. Like, especially in this, like, I was just thinking, like, as I've been, sort of diving back to an Eccleston nostalgia, I suppose. It's almost 15 years ago.
Oh, dear God, it is.
It is. But, I don't know if either of you watched it on CBC or just...
No. I mean,
yes.
In passing, maybe?
Yeah.
But no.
Yep.
But
I watched the BBC stuff.
Yeah.
And then... 10 days later on the CBC as well.
Yeah. And that's that. Like, I was just sort of remembering, like, what a great time it was. Like, just sort of, like, I would watch that first series on the day it went out through various means, and then me and my girlfriend and our friends would gather and watch it at a friend's place on like 10 days later. So I would have already watched it, so I didn't have to worry about people talking during it or watching it with commercial breaks. And it just became like such a social occasion for the first time. And then Eccleston would be like introducing them and everything. And it was like, oh my God, Eccleston's like, he cares. Well, he's being paid to care about...
Those promos are great, but
yeah,
still.
Yeah, he's being paid to care about our show by the CBC. And like it, and so like so many people were like just, it could have been stuck on, no offense, space, as it was known back then. And like had to be, found. But like, the fact that CBC gave it such a big kick out of the gate, and gave it such a prominent broadcast time and date and everything, and just like, wow, like a whole bunch of people in this country at the very least like latched onto it because of that first season of Doctor Who.
Yeah. I wonder when those. I mean, I'm sure the information's out there. I'm wondering. I wonder when those inserts were filmed, because he filmed. I assume everything in probably one afternoon or some such in London, and then he was gone. And Billy Piper did the inserts for Christmas Invasion when it rolled around.
So yep, Christopher Eccleston, Gallifrey One. If you want to get one of those like 1% of the tickets that are left, now's the time. Now's the time, folks.
This is your chance to be a 1%er?
Yes. This time it's good, though.
Boy,
this time,
a dream deferred.
This time it's good. So I decided to take the plunge with the David Tennant Blu-ray set, which came out this past week. It's the whole of the David Tennant series on one Blu-ray set, a 14-disc set. It's only like $41 here in Canada. I thought, what the hell? Let's see it. If anything, I spent $41 on something I already have, which I already do. But let's see how it compares with the with not only the DVD sets that came out at the time, but from way back in the day, I have a review copy of that. Remember that big 25-disc Blu-ray set from series 1 through 7, which I think they threw out just before the
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it came with the Sonic Screwdriver remote. I never got that in the review copy, but and then so basically what I did is I compared the new Tennant Blu-rays to the original DVD set, and then when I was at the second last disc, I thought, wait a second. I think these might just be the same discs as that Blu-ray set, and they indeed were. They are just the same discs as that Blu-ray set with the same BBC logo and menus and promos, somewhat dated promos now because, of course, they came out like 6 years ago. But there is a new disc which has the Dreamland and the other one. Why am I blanking on it? The one they did for Totally Doctor Who.
Infinite Quest.
Yes.
Infinite Quest. Wedding of Sarah Jane Smith is on there as well because that was his guest spot on that show. And then there's a new interview with him too, about 18-minute interview, which I think they actually might have played at the End of Time cinema screening when it was in cinemas in the U.S. in August. And apart from that, the only thing that's missing per se is the in-vision commentaries, but you get to hear them anyway. And I never really saw the point of an in-vision commentary because you see people, like a static shot of people looking at a TV screen, but you hear them
static.
anyway.
Well, I mean, the camera position is static, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But there's this big insert, so maybe that didn't transfer across to Blu-ray, and thus it didn't make the cut here. But
I have a copy of those in-vision commentaries somewhere in like Real Media format or some such.
Really?
Wow. That's some dinosaur action right there.
I mean, it was series 2 when they did those.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's 2006.
Real Media.
It's 2006. So you got to think back to what was out there in 2006.
That's a good point.
Even then, Real Media was kind of like on its last legs.
I hope it was. Yeah, I forget when it kind of gave up gave up altogether.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I recommend it. I recommend. Like I just like quartered the size of space that I need for a David Tennant collection on my Blu-ray shelf because this whole thing is in one set now. So it's pretty handy, and it's a good up-res as well. I know Eric Escamilla tweeted about the progressive and interlaced frame rates and stuff earlier, which is kind of what inspired me to just buy this and check it out on my own. But yeah, if you're looking to like get all of Tennant's stuff in one fell swoop, I don't think you can get much better than this collection. I'd be curious if they do the same, basically a 2-disc set for the Eccleston years as well. Now that I have this, Jodie Whittaker era logo on the side, next to the old.
Good old completionism.
Yeah, I know it does.
Logo completionism, sir.
It does kind of stand out, and I'm not sure they'll do. I mean, I know they did the Smith sets and the Capaldi set, but they were like big and expansive, and I think even the packaging was kind of big too, wasn't it?
Well, I've got the Capaldi one. I got that for Christmas last year, and it is, it's like wide or deep or however you want to describe it deep if it's on the shelf, wide if you're looking at it
Thick,
like a book.
with 2 C's.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the Matt Smith one is same size, if not bigger. I think it's about the same size. But also one thing that I've noticed about these is once they come out and they're out for a little bit, if you don't get them, if you don't snap, it's like some of the classic DVDs. If you don't snap them up right away, the prices on them just go like bonkers insane. Like the Peter Capaldi one right now on Amazon Canada is over $200. The Matt Smith one's $437.
Wow.
That's insanity.
Holy crap. Wow.
So I mean, it's kind of thing that if you want, get it early after its release, and it's been out for it came out the 17th or something like that. So it came out 2 weeks ago, under 2 weeks ago. And who knows how long it's going to be, the $40 that Amazon lists it for right now.
Yeah. So get on it if you want it, which I did, and I'm happy. Now I have even more. I mean, it's not like I'm replacing them yet, because there's like a shelf and a drawer where I have basically all my, non-special edition versions and like stuff that's now come out on Blu-ray that's replaced it. I have a whole bunch of those Doctor Who DVDs now, but I don't feel comfortable about like getting rid of them.
That's your problem. That's not the DVD's problem.
No, it's Warren. It's 100% my problem. Somewhere, if I had a house big enough, I'd have an alternate shelf which would just have all the old stuff splayed out.
You crazy.
A little bit. All thanks to this Blu-ray set. So I'm hoping that they do a similar thing with Smith and Capaldi and Dean Eccleston and Whittaker when her tenure comes to an end as well. That'd be kind of cool as well. So. But yeah, it's a good pickup. I recommend it. Hey, Big Finish, more Big Finish stuff because they put out new stuff every single week, it seems. 3 fantastic new Doctor Who short trips are coming our way in 2020.
Woot.
I know, including Out of the Deep, performed by Peter Purvis. That's coming out in June. That's written by John Pritchard. Downward Spiral, performed by Sarah Sutton Nissa herself. Written by Alan Flanagan, and then These Stolen Hours, performed by India Fisher, which is coming out in August. So there you go, three more short trips, a mere £3 an episode is the price on those. There you go, Big Finish.
Yes, indeed.
And the last bit of news. This is the big news. We've saved the best to last. Doctor Who and Build-A-Bear have joined up for a
iconic.
I know. And
iconic.
There's a new Doctor Who collection coming to Build-A-Bear in the UK and the US, and I'm hoping Canada too, because we have Build-A-Bears in Canada.
One would assume so.
Yeah. This is very intriguing. There's a whole new collection of plush outfits and accessories based on the Doctor Who franchise for Build-A-Bears. So that's coming in 2020. Boy, oh boy, everything's ramping up to 2020 and the promotion of this new series of Doctor Who that we're waiting to hear one thing about, other than the fact that the Judoon have mohawks. Hey, maybe they have the mohawk because the Build-A-Bear people said, you know what, we love the Judoon, but we are bears here. We have fluff and fuzz. Can you put something that we could incorporate into
That's
our
exactly
bear?
how it all played out, I'm sure.
Exactly. So
Actually, Judoon would make decent stuffed animal things.
kind of would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I look for my main memory of Build-A-Bears. I haven't seen them in a while, but they used to have this sort of like fluff machine. It would just sort of being like turned over and over, and on top of it would be this like this crank that forever crank it, but they tied a bear to it, and so it would look like this poor bear was 24/7 turning the crank to make his brethren. I just felt like, give him a coffee break. Like, I just feel so bad for this teddy bear at the top of this box in this sweatshop of a place called
Even while you're watching these things being made out of fluff, so he's made out of fluff and not real.
Yeah, Warren, you can't prove that, okay?
I very much can, actually. It's being played out right in front of you.
I've seen movies, but anyway, I might check out the build. I haven't been to a Build-A-Bear because I have a slight predilection for teddy bears, and I might be looped into getting one or several of these little bears. So, but it's coming to shops. 2020, everyone, just like Doctor Who, apparently. But we don't have to wait for 2020 to watch the Tsuranga Conundrum, because we get to do that very shortly after this very short break with guest Erika Ensign from Verity Podcast. Yes, welcome back, everyone. We're almost at the halfway point of our Series 11 commentaries. Although, for you at home, it's the halfway point. For us, this is just the second one we're recording because of whatever-itness. We went down the list and looked for someone to talk about the Tsuranga Conundrum, basically, which was not the most popular episode requested in our little poll sending out to all the various people doing the commentaries, but I know that one person leapt up and wanted to be on the podcast to talk about it, so much so that she moved to Canada to marry me in order to do so.
That is the long game. That is the definition of the long game.
Erika Ensign, my spouse from Verity Podcast. Hello.
Hi. We're sitting on the same couch. It's weird.
It is kind of weird. We do this for Lazy Doctor Who, but we share the same microphone and stuff. So this is
now we have our own microphones, and it is very fancy.
We wouldn't want to do this for Lazy Doctor Who.
No, this is
Go
not
against
lazy.
the whole title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
There was a lot of setup involved in this, so heck no.
Yeah, a lot of technical foo-fra and whatnot. So, today's episode is the Tsuranga Conundrum, which I don't have my poll at hand, but I'll probably gather it. Last place of the Doctor Who magazine poll.
Everybody's wrong.
You know what?
Wait a minute.
I watched. Yes, Warren.
This is the one on the ship, not the one with ribbons, right?
Correct.
Okay, that one's my last. So this is at least second last, if not better.
Okay, all right. Well, I watched it earlier today, and I have to say I enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to watching this.
I don't remember anything about it.
Well, we're going to find out.
You
now,
are
Warren.
in for a treat.
We're going
sir.
to watch it. We're going to
We'll
watch
see.
it right now and commentate over it. We're watching the North American Blu-ray version of this for what it's worth. I don't know if the durations are different for iTunes, or of course the frame rates will be different in other part of the world. But listen, we have to pick one, and this is the one we picked. So get it. Buy it now. Get your legally purchased Blu-ray and watch it with us. Damn it. I don't know why I'm so angry all of a sudden, but
Because we're going to watch the Tsuranga Conundrum.
I like it.
And about a half hour of technical wrangling before this, yeah.
That too as well, behind the curtain. All right, no more technical wrangling, no more delaying. It's time to watch the Tsuranga Conundrum in 3, 2, 1, play.
So, for whatever it's worth, the Digital Spy poll ranked this the second worst, ahead of Arachnids in the UK.
Which I also liked a lot.
I like Arachnids in the UK.
I'm middling on it.
And the Radio Times...
I'm not middling on Digital Spy, I can tell you that right now.
The Radio Times poll ranked this as worst of the 10.
Wow.
Radio Times is a clickbait farm now, so they can also go to hell. Not that I'm defending this, I'm just slagging off Radio Times.
I guess I'm an iconoclast because this was the only story that I actually wanted to come on and talk about. I was like, which other one could I do? Do I have to pick others?
Welcome
No,
aboard
you
the
didn't.
USS Misanthrope, Lieutenant Ensign.
See,
That's
look how it
confusing.
starts. It starts with this giant junkyard.
This is
which to me,
impressive.
it's just fun.
This is pretty
Like,
cool, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Doctor and her companions digging through junk.
Like-
And I remember the TARDIS is like just way off the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And they're just like jabbering back and forth at each other in this just very delightful family-esque sort of way.
I actually don't know how they did that shot.
Nope.
I think there's probably a composite.
Computers.
Like no one. Yeah, there's not 4 people in that shot right there. They're
Oh no, yeah, they pieced them all together for sure.
Yeah.
That's many different composited pieces.
It's like the Doctor's Wife, but it looks better. And it's at night. Totally at night.
Nighttime covers a million sins.
Well, the Doctor's Wife is mostly at dark as well, so...
That's true.
That is true. It is very dark. Oh, this is just just digging through. This reminds me of the junkyard scene in Labyrinth, so that also makes me happy.
Where I think my first thought was Genesis of the Daleks landmine scene.
Well, when you see the landmine, then yes, that is where the
What makes me happy about Labyrinth is Dr. Beverly Crusher herself, Gates McFadden, was the choreographer, which I just discovered
Yes.
for that movie.
She is credited as Cheryl McFadden.
Which is her real first name, yep.
Gates is a
Ooh,
cooler name.
Explosion.
it is.
Gates is like some gang nickname she earned when she was like slinging the dope on the rough streets.
She cut the weakest
probably
member of the gang. And by the way, I like this explosion is just a good old classic dip to white.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. it's
Which,
nice.
by the way, the snap in Avengers Endgame and the other one, Infinity War, that's all it is. It's just a snap. One of the most expensive films of all time, dip to white. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need big effects. I, from the get-go, love this set.
The spaceship is so good.
I think actually that
It is a very good set.
The story itself finished last, but I think the Tsuranga Conundrum won the poll for best set design in that same Doctor Who magazine poll.
Are you making this up, or was that a real thing?
I'm not. You keep talking. I'll find it.
No, I'm
not sure about
believe
his shoulder pads that are like for like a wrestler or something.
They do like those are shoulder pads I wear when I play hockey. Like those are
okay.
full
But what are those for in a medical context?
Hockey.
Posture?
Yeah, posture. Maybe
maybe when he has to sling a patient over his shoulder, it gives him some.
I mean, it looks cool, but it doesn't really make any sense.
I know. It sort of
Unlike the
continues
rest of this.
It continues the theme, I suppose, because the guys from Tron wore like Cooper Winwell hockey helmets.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the Tron suits are just white with like sort of neon-y colors on them, and then they just did some old analog film trickery with it to make it look glowy.
Look cool. I think it's front actual projection, I think is what it is.
I love this part. She's so doctory. Like this is important. I'm ignoring everything else. I have to get home. And the look he's giving her,
legitimate
like,
concern.
Yep. Yeah, losing the TARDIS is always one of the scariest things in Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping the damn door open, my bugaboo.
That always, I know, it still bugs me. It's like, oh, close the door, close the door, close the door. Something's gonna fly
Anybody
in
can
there.
just wander in there. Come on,
everyone. The Mandrake or a Helix. I mean, anything could go in there. This guy reminds me of Yanto Jones for some reason.
Yeah, I can see that.
He also sounds...
No, this one's alive.
But he sounds like one of the...
robot.
Yeah, he sounds like one of the robots from the Robots of Death.
Well, he's more alive than Yato Jones.
Ooh, the Doctor is totally fangirling. I always like it when the Doctor goes all fanny.
Favorite set design.
That came out wrong.
Yeah, the interior of the Tsuranga Conundrum. Gerblam Warehouse was second, and then the TARDIS interior was third.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Didn't you sit in a car and think it reminded you of this spaceship?
I sat in the 2019 Toyota Prius. I love this. I'd say it's more of a volume chapter. You know.
See, that's some good self-aggrandizing.
That is.
Yep.
That's some good doctorly self-aggrandizing.
Hand-wavy nonsense.
Yeah.
And we've got her purple shirt here as well.
Yes, I like that shirt.
Someone tracked the different costumes. This is the
I'm
purple
sure
one.
many people have.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, because the one I bought on Kickstarter, like literally 12 minutes after the costume reveal, I think is the wrong color. And so I feel like I shouldn't wear it anymore, partly because it doesn't fit, because I need to run more.
Two things. She has an ectospleen, and also this guy, there's nobody who looks more British than this dude. This is a very British-looking man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ginger.
Very ginger.
Yeah. Do we have ectospleens as humans?
I don't think
yes.
so.
Okay.
I think it is a regular
all of
spleens.
us.
Do we have octospleens? Do we have 8 of them?
Does an ectospleen mean it's haunted?
Yeah. Ooh.
It's actually for filtering ectoplasm if you accidentally
There you go,
get
exactly.
slimed.
That's it.
That's
Which
when
is
you're
the
ectospleen.
Time Lord equivalent of a Monster Energy drink. You drink a ghost.
I'd try it.
You know, I was, for some reason, I was slightly bugged by the fact that they're on an alien ship in the 67th century, but everyone looks human. But then I was watching, like, I don't know, literally any classic Doctor Who story, and it's like, okay, they're all human there too. Why am I?
I mean, they're not necessarily human; they're humanoid.
Yeah,
like
they look human.
The pregnant guy is not human.
Yeah, because obviously
he's gifted. They just
he's
said.
gifted.
Yep.
Yeah, but they look exactly the same. But you know what? I almost would like.
Well,
I'd
that's
rather
for
just
convenience of actors, Stephen.
I know. I'd rather have them all be human than basically like, hey, my nose makeup is slightly different. I'm from a very different planet in the
So
Beta
like
Quadrant.
Bajorans on DS9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've just gotten to season 4 of DS9, which is damn lovely. There's not been a bad one yet.
No.
And I am all for these bad makeups. I'm so used to it now. I don't care.
Oh no, I think the Bajoran's fine. I think Voyager goes a bit crazy because they have to meet a new alien species every week, and they go, "Oh God, what is this now that we're looking at?" Before they fly off to the holodeck. Tom Paris's sexual adventures with Harry Kim.
I mean, I would watch that over the usual Voyager.
Don't watch Voyager. It's terrible. It's my least favorite Star Trek.
I gotta say, I'm taking back everything I've slagged off about Deep Space Nine. It is quite good.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Especially season 4. And I just saw one of John Colicos, and they can do a no wrong of John Colicos.
That's right. Yeah, he was in there, wasn't he?
The next one's
He
Armand
was a
Bashir,
Klingon,
which people
wasn't he?
rave about, and I've never seen. So
Yeah. What did you say, Chris? There,
Colicos played a Klingon, didn't he?
he did.
yes, he
But
does.
He
He
played
plays
a
Core.
Klingon
He plays the
in the
original
ri-
guy from
in the original
TOS.
series.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Pity Kirk would be cool.
here's like one of the great doctor companion relationships that we have in all of Series 11, and he's going to be dead in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, my favorite part with him is how he just shoots the doctor down. Like she's trying to hijack a medical ship. She's still out of it. So, I'm going to give her a pass. But the way that he stops her and then she actually apologizes and just changes course. That's one of my favorite things about this new doctor.
But then she sort of like we'll see it later on, but how she kind of like, he says, I can tell you don't like being told what to do or something like that.
Yeah, here he tells her you're being
Yeah,
hostile
this
and
here,
selfish,
yeah.
and points out
really
you're going to hurt other people
Mhm.
if you don't cool it,
This really is
lady.
a great set, but I gotta wonder, back in the day, was it just that plastic was more expensive or something, or stuff that looked like plastic on screen? Because
I think
stuff
so.
just looked
Yeah.
chunkier and more wood-like back in the day. Because this doesn't. This is not unlike other Doctor Who sets of yesteryear, except it's just a lot more slick.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder what materials have sort of let that happen.
Like vacuum formed plastic or something like
Yeah,
that.
which they had a whole lot less of back then.
Yeah. I mean, they had some of it, but not to the.
But they use it for
extent of
weapons and
this.
stuff, right? So
They use it for weapons, for like, creatures perhaps a little bit, but like, smaller scale kind of things. But yeah, I bet you look at all the set pieces from Keeper of Traken to Fort of Doomsday, they're all made of wood.
I mean, there are some great sets that are made out of it. Like, for instance, Keeper Traken. That's a pretty cool set, but
Yeah. Just good old fashioned plywood.
Pting.
Ding. This is a great set. I just adore this set. Like if I was to build a Lego, it would be tough because it's all round and Legos mostly.
this
rectangle.
sells it too, just to go on with modern stuff. Like the fact you can throw an LCD screen in there and have a whole bunch of graphics going, which you just could not do back in the old days.
Yeah, you just have little like TV monitors within
Yeah,
like
with
holes
black
in
and
the
white,
wood.
terrible Acorn graphics on them.
Yeah. Or like, B-roll footage of something. Yeah.
Or just a gel with a light behind it and a picture that doesn't move.
Yep.
Yeah, but gels still sell a lot. Like here. for
Yeah,
instance.
that's true.
I don't know if think it was a purposeful homage, but the console hanging from the ceiling and being suspended from there is
It is TARDIS-like.
it is very it's very TARDIS like from what Mike Tucker designed for a hypothetical future TARDIS set. I think for season 27, I think it was.
Oh, the one where the column is fixed to the ceiling and
Yeah.
there's no base.
Yeah.
It is
They
cool.
finally made it. It is really cool. And it's stable. Like he's actually pressing on it. Like,
Doesn't wobble.
unless they digitally like altered it. Oh, let's take out the wobbles because he can do that now.
That's true.
I don't know if you'd bother.
I think you probably should. Oh.
Well, it's like Peter Jackson said with that World War One movie. He's like, you could colorize and colorize and colorize and colorize, and it's just a matter of time and money. You can make it look really good. It's just, the reason colorized stuff looked bad in the old days is because you didn't have the time and money.
You know what I like about this is that they have focused on these two and the impending disaster that's happening. We haven't cut back. There's a very certain like here's the bit here, like where she's like suddenly there.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I love that. Love that.
That's my motto.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they have such a great rapport,
Mm-hmm.
and we just get to see them go back and forth, and then beep beep beep, alert alert, and then it changes the tenor of it, but they're still working together really well. And so I like that they don't come back to anybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't like that he dies.
I don't like that he dies, but I mean it really ramps up the tension. And Akinola's, I don't think there's a moment in this that doesn't have some sort of like audio soundscape from Second Akinola.
Mm-hmm.
Who is good at his job.
Oh, he is totally shaming her and kind of blackmailing her
Yep.
in order to get the drugs.
Don't trust androids.
He also looks very British.
He's doing his job. It's not because he's an android. It's because he's a loyal servant.
Consort.
Corporate
I think,
stooge, I think, is the word you're looking for.
I think consort, I think was the word he used.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. Yeah,
Which-
but not in the way you
Which
like it.
has a
Yeah.
whole other
Maybe not on that planet.
But or maybe so on that planet. I'm not judging.
Maybe
yeah,
so.
that's true. It did make me wonder. The whole idea of a consort being a non-human, an android who is basically part of a slave race, as we kind of learn throughout this episode.
Yeah,
that's
true.
troubling. But maybe it just means a buddy who takes care of me and
A bro, if
is
you
a
will.
servant.
Yeah.
Maybe some other kind of buddy.
This does sound like it's being explained to me like I'm 10. No, they're no, they're not. No, they're just friends. He's just a buddy. He's just a buddy. That's all. Just good old.
We're just pals, amigos. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like when your mom introduces somebody as her friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, he's the engineer.
I like how Graham likes, oh yeah, it's perfectly normal to sneak into your sister's medical records. Like he susses him immediately.
He's been around the block.
Well, he's a bus driver. They've seen it all.
Yep, he's seen it all.
Quite literally been around the block, yeah.
How many times have you been on a bus and somebody's there trying to break into their sister's medical records? Every
other day.
right?
Oh, like,
I take the transits a lot, and yeah, you're right.
it happens every day. Rush hour especially.
Actually, I walk to work, so I don't have to deal with that particular issue.
I haven't had to deal with that for a while either. That's not something I miss.
I really like how the Doctor and Astos are separated, but talking to each other through their little walkie-talkies. So we get some really nice cross-cutting to two completely different areas of the ship, and they're still, it keeps it tight. I feel like this episode is just really well balanced in terms of the action. I never got bored.
There's a deadline. There's a real time feel to it all. Like it's all
Like
happening in
42?
real time. Kind of like that. Also written
Which
by
was
Chibnall.
a Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there was.
Although there must have been something going on in the writer's room early on before it all went haywire and they had to basically just hire single writers to write all their stories. Because Tim Price is the name of the writer who was in the writer's room who came up with the idea and indeed the name of the Pting, so much so that he's credited in the closing credits. Yeah.
Speaking of 42, I guess this is
Yeah, you're
reminiscent
right.
of the escape pod thing there.
What's baby? So, Chris, was this guy on Coronation Street by any chance? And that's where you know
Not
him
that I
from?
know of.
Oh, you don't know? He's one of the roll call at the end of episode 1 that you don't
Call
recognize?
yourself a Corey expert? Come on.
Most everybody. He is she is the general is. I don't think the android is.
No. From Coronation Street. Wow.
Oh, and he goes
No,
out.
no.
Like,
In the end.
Oh,
episode
yeah,
one,
yeah.
Cast thing. Cast thing.
and he goes out giving a pep talk
Yeah.
to Mabley, his protege. Like what a great character.
And
What?
now he's dead.
Or is he?
dead.
Maybe
He
sometime
blew
the
up.
Doctor zaps him out of there. She could do it later,
If she didn't do it for Adric, she's not doing it for Astos.
or maybe some future incarnation of the Doctor will do it. And
No,
he'll,
it has to meet the Adric test
Yeah. Thinking, if I didn't save Adric.
or the
And?
anti-Vanessa test. Either way.
Pting. He's got a little tail.
God, it's so cute.
Nibbler.
It does look like Nibbler.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But look at those eyes.
I wish it talked like Nibbler.
Kind of does.
That'd be great.
And he is kind of cute, I gotta say.
Well, they could have got Frank Welker to voice it like they did Nibbler.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the Doctor doesn't know what this is. Like she is unfamiliar with the Pting.
She has to go Google it later on.
The thing about the Pting is it's too cute, which is kind of uncanny valley-ish.
Really?
I think a little bit. I can't take it as seriously because it's just a little too adorable, if that makes any sense.
Well, they treat it like I was mildly surprised, and they didn't think, "Oh, look at you, you're so cute." And then he like gobbles up half a star drive or something, and then they.
Yeah, but that was kind of cute, actually.
Well, yeah, but they immediately like, "Oh my god, what the hell is this?" Like they don't at all ever think this thing is cute.
Which is good
I
because
know, but I'm saying as the viewer, I'm like, he's a little too adorable. Or
it is hard to not notice how adorable it is.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Exactly.
True, but you're right. The other characters don't
Yep.
Don't like give it some sort of like false sense of I don't know, lack of strength or whatever, by thinking it's cute. It's just like, okay, here's this vicious little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. That was a very good scrunch. And also, cute or not, this is a pretty damn good CG. The creature effects are the worst. Like, they're the toughest thing to pull off.
Yeah.
And so far, they're pulling them off, so.
D-Neg did a good job this season.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's getting her drugs.
Drugs. And there's probably like 4 elements to this set total. There's this room, and then there's like corridors that can be swapped around, and
yeah,
it looks better on TV than it probably did on screen. I mean, like when they're actually making it.
Probably. Oh, I love Mabley's shoes too. That like the
I was
light
just
up
about to
shoes.
remark on her shoes, yeah.
It's like those. It's like the little kids' shoes that
Yes.
that light up. That
In
I
the
always
future,
wish there were
little kids.
adult versions of.
I wanted
there are.
an adult version of those little wheelie shoes that kids are wearing for a few years there.
Well, when did those first come out? The mid-2000s? So we're about 5-6 years away from this being a nostalgia thing and you being able to get them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once kids are ruling the world.
But you'll be sitting there going, now I just try to look like a 20-year-old. Duh.
Warren, I'm always trying to look like a 20. What do you think the Lego's for?
Well, I mean, for instance, I was telling a friend of mine that since I've lost not a bunch, but some weight, I have to switch out my age-inappropriate T-shirts with entirely new age-inappropriate T-shirts.
Do you yet have a T-shirt that says "Yeet" on it? Because
Why would I
feel
have
you
such
need
a
one.
thing?
I think you need one.
What does yeet mean?
I don't know. Is this a bad joke?
Threat level chalice, which is one up from beetroot.
Beetroot.
I love it.
I do enjoy that.
Now I'm looking up yeet. I'm not going to like this, am I?
You
It's
probably
it's
won't.
a Gen Z thing.
Well,
Which
that
one's
would be
Gen Z?
something I
Are we
wouldn't
Gen
wear
Z?
because I will just wear nostalgic stuff that points me out as I have one that says Mulder, it's me, which is both inappropriate for my age and a signifier of my age.
Is that from Farscape? What is that?
No, it's not from Farscape, you. How dare you?
Walked right into it, Warren. You just strolled right
No, I didn't
in.
walk right into it. I said something normal and you debased it.
Oh.
Like the Pixies.
I should just get a T-shirt that says Steven is wrong.
This is
shut
quite
up,
the info
Steven.
dump.
I've enjoyed this. Never trust a Pting. Never engage with a Pting. Do not touch Happy Fun Ball. It's
Yeah, and it's the computer
If the Pting
just
begins to
the
smoke,
whole
clear the
time.
area
Yeah.
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we missed and believe me, I rewound and watched it and then missed it again if it was there. There was a bit on the screen that was like an in-joke or something, I think.
Oh yeah, there was something that was shown as they were zipping through really fast.
I can't remember what it was.
Like a Simpsons style like freeze frame gag.
Yeah,
Amazon
like a...
Doc, that's what it was. No,
It's like an old.
Might have
old
been.
It might have been something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember what. I remember Googling it.
wasn't
I remember
Absalom
it.
Doc in like one of the 12th Doctor things?
Time heist.
Time
Yes.
Ice, that's right.
Yep.
With the Sensorite, speaking of, yeah.
Yeah, but I think this was just like a classic monster or something.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting
But
for the Punisher versus Absalom Doc crossover. That'll never happen.
Well, no, they're both DC Comics.
How dare you? They were both Marvel for a time. Marvel did have the rights, the North American rights to Doctor Who. So
I know.
That's right. I have such mixed feelings about this
Yeah.
part of this plot line.
This is the part of the show that you don't like.
I kind of always forget that it's there, and then every time I come back and watch it, I'm like, oh right, the pregnant guy. It's like they try to go with the look, we're poking fun at men, except that it's like this is poking fun at men that was clearly done by a man who does
yeah, it's a very stereotypical pregnant person.
Mm-hmm. Although I will admit that I laughed at some of the jokes the first time through, but it's super like heteronormative and like very gender binary, which is like men have boys and women give birth to girls, and yes, it's an alien race, but it's an alien race that we're seeing on television in our reality here. So yeah, I don't know, reinforcing that just kind of makes my
It also
skin
sounds
twitch.
like something a little kid would say. Boys give birth to boys and girls give birth to girls. Like a 4-year-old kid would tell you that.
And he's also just being used basically as like a, for Ryan to come to terms with the fact that his dad abandoned him or something like that.
Yeah, I have real problems with the end of this
Also,
this
they might
part
be
of the
breeding
plot.
Conan O'Brien's here, which is its own problem.
I don't know. I feel like that's all right.
Well,
like the
one's
world
fine.
could-
I don't know if we need a whole army of them.
I think the world could use a couple more Conans.
All right, fair enough. I'm not married to the concept of Conan erasure.
Yeah, so I like the character development that we get for Ryan here, and I really like the Ryan and Yaz scenes, and the way that she interacts with him. So I get what they were trying to do. I just, by the end of it, it's basically the right thing to do is to keep the baby, and I don't think that there's anything in that this guy whose name I have forgotten already, the guest star guy.
Him.
Ginger.
The Gifton.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ginger. There's nothing that makes me think that he's like super, super excited about keeping that baby. And like so much of media these days, well, throughout my life anyway, in North America has sort of been like the normal and good thing to do is to grow up and get married and have kids. And if you get pregnant, you should keep that baby because that's the right thing to do. And it is not always. I mean, sometimes it is, yes. But just the idea that's usually the right answer is frustrating to me as a media trope that pops up again and again, and seeing in Doctor Who made me very sad in my heart. But this is a great scene between Yaz and Ryan, so
so it's worth it.
Well, I don't know if it's quite worth it, but it's better.
Ryan's had a tough life
Yeah.
in his 19 years.
And Yaz is she's so understanding. And like she's obviously her police training has helped her learn how to calmly deal with people.
How much training could she have got? I mean, if she went to the same school, we talked about
The training would
commentary.
probably help focus things, but
Right.
most of the foundation would have had to have been there previously.
Look at it skipping around the ship.
I
It's
missed
so
that.
cute. Mabley is a pessimist.
She's a scientist. I don't trust the scientists. To quote,
Yes, they're bad, those scientists.
to quote,
Thanks, Angus Lenny.
from the Ice Warriors. Thank you very much.
I like her tattoos.
I know. I wonder almost like, is that tattoo on her arm like her actual tattoo, or the fact that she has like sort of almost Draven-esque eye makeup here, that the pyramid is part of it, or perhaps she had the arm tattoo and they drew on some spots on her eyes just to sort of say, yep, it's all just part of the same thing. Freema Agyeman has a tattoo on her upper arm it's not really mentioned at all.
Do you ever see it?
You do. You do. I think you see it whenever she takes her coat off in the early episodes. You can see it.
So basically just Martha Jones happens to have
Martha
a tattoo.
Jones episodes. Yeah. There's the shoes. There you go. Look at those clunky
Yeah,
things.
look at them.
Those are clunky.
It's almost like moon boots with
They
lights
are.
in the heels.
Those are massive souls.
Yeah.
They're probably able to be magnetized, so if the
Oh.
gravity goes out, the doctors can still stay attached to the deck and get to their patients who
That-
are in their beds.
That makes sense.
That's a hell of a lot more thought than I put into it.
Yeah. Well, you're not a costume. You're not Ray Holman, Warren.
That's
Well,
true,
I'm not either, but I thought of it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got
That's
a little
what I'm
stripe of blue in her hair too, which
Yeah.
I just noticed.
I was
she's
being
great.
complimentary, Stephen.
I know. And
He
she's-
didn't recognize what that sounded
Yes,
like.
I noticed that.
and we can't hear her because we're watching this, but she has a Scottish accent too.
Mm-hmm.
It's the greatest hits of all the neat things.
Some good bug eyes, too, there.
Yeah. Looks like a cassette tape on that.
Ah, the plot thickens. They can't take the ship back to the place with the transporter that could get the doctor back to the TARDIS because the Pting would kill everybody.
This is basically like, okay, you have like 3 attempts at your own password before we lock you out of your own computer.
Yep.
Which is your own damn fault for not remembering a million passwords.
Yeah, you idiot. Yeah.
Oh, I'll just use one. Oh, never mind.
No, one password does not exist on this ship in the 67th century.
God, I love the looks on her face. Her reactions are just the best. I want just gifs of her. not just the scrunch. The scrunch is great, but the I can't believe
Come
it
on.
face. That's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Oh, this was in the trailer, and we all Kremlinized the hell out of it.
Did we? Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, I did. So.
Oh.
I like this scene where everybody standing around the room like you would actually expect, as opposed to the sitcom dinner table thing where it just everybody happens to be standing in one side of the room.
The classic multicam, you mean?
That is
My
exactly
favorite
right.
version of that is on whatever that whatever Patton Oswalt was on. He just did a thing where he just stood at the living room and just stood there.
Was it King of
And if
Queens?
you watch it, it goes for 7 minutes, and you can
I
see
know.
him the whole time behind other people while they're doing haha sitcom stuff.
I
And
think
it's
he was
just- it's
King of Queens.
ridiculous.
Yeah, where his one of
Yeah,
his
King of
last
Queens. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
one of his
you don't
last
notice until he points it out,
performances.
and then you just can't stop laughing at how ridiculous
I know.
it is and how he
Just
got away
look at
with
him.
it.
He's. Do you know what we're talking
I've
about?
heard of it, but I've never watched it to
It's
actually
on
see it
YouTube.
happen.
It is.
Yeah.
It is on YouTube somewhere.
It's toward the end of the show's run, and Patton Oswalt played a supporting character on the show. And for one scene, basically, he didn't have any lines in this sort of party scene, and the conversation happens in the living room, and then it goes out into the kitchen, but you can still see the living through the kitchen. And Patton Oswalt just stands still in the middle of the room and looks off like set and just stares, and just like with a sort of a dumb grin on his face for the entire scene.
It's kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah, it
Wow.
really is. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that at home, folks, but thunder just happened here in the Edmonton area.
Sweet.
Very
Is
exciting.
that what that was?
Listen,
I
Yeah.
heard
will tell
thunder
you,
on I heard thunder on Chris's end, and then later here.
to all 10 of your Edmonton listeners,
Yep.
the one thing I miss, one of the few things I miss about living in Edmonton, was the thunder and lightning is spectacular.
Yep, it is.
Stuff
We
here
had-
is pretty dull.
We had a freak hailstorm this afternoon, and
Oh.
it was a whiteout.
Yeah.
It was legitimately a whiteout. That much hail.
Oh, it's heavy rain around here, but not no
Yeah, we
hail,
could-
no whiteout.
We
This
couldn't
is my
even.
favorite thing is how the prairies carry sound, so you'll hear thunder going for miles and miles and miles, and you can see the lightning. Here, it's like if you got lightning, there's a pile of rain, and you're just not going to see it. So it'll just be a big flash, and that's it.
Yep.
Boo, Vancouver, stupid dump.
Yeah. Once you move out of there, maybe move to
Yeah.
like Cranbrook or Prince George or 100 Mile House or something like that.
There is nothing in 100 Mile House.
I know, but I'm rattling off like little known BC towns. I thought you'd be impressed.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I mean, a bit,
I'm-
I suppose.
I'm easily impressed.
I know.
I like the Tsuranga Conundrum, so I guess I'm easily impressed. However, I wasn't as impressed with the with some of the episodes other people liked, so
Yeah.
I'm just different.
I'm enjoying this episode.
I'm not hating it. It's fine.
Yeah, what do you two have so much damn problem? Chris, why do you hate this episode with a fiery passion? I don't know. I'm just putting thoughts into your mind.
I don't know. I think I couldn't get into it. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't care about the war thing or the general or
That's another cool set, by the way. Our lightning.
Yeah,
thing.
this looks awesome.
I think part of it also comes down, and we've run into this with other commentaries. If you're watching this thing on its own, you're like, oh, wait, this is actually all right. But if you're watching it week to week and it doesn't live up to the last one or whatever, like it's its own thing watching these things a week in a row. And this is different because you're just popping in and popping out. And,
Yeah.
I actually am probably enjoying this more than last time for that reason. So,
Yeah, I actually, I said that I tend to block out the male pregnancy subplot, and I also kind of forget about the general and her brother and the android a little bit. Right. Like I think the reason that I love this episode so much is that I think this is the Doctor at my most favorite of her performances in the entire season, because she just gets to run around a spaceship. Spaceships are awesome, and try to figure things out. And we get a little bit of companion character development and interaction, but it's mostly just the Doctor running around and talking to the guest characters and being awesome. And I guess that is what I look for in my relaxation Doctor Who stories, like the ones I want to go back to.
Oftentimes, like interacting with each character, like one-on-one. Like she had her time with Astos. Mm-hmm. She's basically making out with this antimatter engine right now.
Oh yeah, this speech.
Yeah.
yeah, like she's so sciencey, and that's something I've been missing. You don't get as much of that with the later Doctors.
I want to point out what I think are camera road cases and behind Jodie Whittaker there, painted white. And I think that's what they might be, but
You think they're what?
Camera, like basically hard shell camera cases.
like Pelican cases, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that I've seen stacked up elsewhere.
My favorite
Those right
version of
there.
that is in Stolen Earth, where they have a tape library, and only people who like us who've worked in tape libraries would know that.
Oh, with the little spinny.
With the spinny thingies, yeah. And I guess librarians probably have a similar setup too. So.
And indeed, in the Mysterious Planet, where the secrets from Andromeda are stored in a big giant 2-inch videotape case.
Right, but basically, it's only people who've worked in TV will go, oh wait, I recognize exactly what that is.
Yep. Use the props that are close to hand.
Why not?
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, and to most civilians, they're not going to know any better. It does look good, yeah. So
Jennifer Parrott directed this. She directed this, and what else did she do? Did she do Witchfinders? I can't remember now.
I don't know, but I feel like she did a bang-up job.
Yeah,
here.
I know she did. She had not done much in the way of directing before this. Certainly for British TV. I think she was from Australia.
I like her uniform.
It is cool, isn't it? It's got
all the costumes
good
and sets
uniform.
in this are.
It's got like leather dress outfit sort of mixed up with like white biker suit kind of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, it is kind of bikery, but like weekend biker dude, not an actual like Hell's Angel.
Yeah. Like Starfleet dress uniform from Star Trek Nemesis combined with a white biker suit.
And a comfy zip-up hoodie.
Yeah, yes, there we go.
She did Kerblam, for what it's worth.
Kerblam.
Which is the other one that had high marks for set design.
That's right. It got second.
So she got to direct in 2 pretty sweet sets.
It's true. Maybe she designed those sets.
I don't think so.
Designed the sets.
Nope.
She could have vetoed it, but
Now the doctor's finding out that she's got pilot heart. She's been hiding. Yeah, I kind of forgot about this side plot too a little bit.
yeah.
Yep. But it's now that I'm being reminded of it, I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the thing that I think of when I think about this episode.
What is it? What do you think of the Pting?
No, I think of the doctor in this spaceship.
Not the Pting. The Pting's not the thing.
Pting is the Pting is a thing.
Yeah.
It's not the thing.
No.
It's cute. It's just the threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that gets most remembered, though. I mean, it's getting Funkoed, so obviously it's one of the most I don't know, popular,
how can you
significant to fans, I guess.
How can you not Funko that thing though? Like it's already
it's
Funko.
pre-Funkoed, yeah.
Pre-Funkoed.
Prunkoed, if no, I'm not. It's not. If you will, you won't.
Too far.
I won't at all. Actually, no.
Too far.
That's a portman don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is in of itself a portman don't.
Have I said how much I enjoy this set? Because I do.
I think we all have. Pretty
Gleaming
much.
white. You got to make space. Like I'm tired of seeing like pipes and steam on spaceship sets.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that scene where with pipes and steam that the Pting went down the pipe hole.
Yeah, but that was in the in the depths of it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the pipes and steam thing, I think, is kind of gone now a bit down. Nobody does it anymore.
Well, now
just
that
like
people,
nobody has a standoff at a warehouse at the end of the episode anymore because that's just what was available and cheap.
I blame Ridley Scott personally, but
yeah.
Well, it was kind of new
Fair.
at the time, right? Besides Star Wars.
Also, Doctor Who did it because they often shot on location in the early part of the modern series, and now they actually build sets because they can do that.
And this one is
It's a
real
set.
banger.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, here we go. Yaz being a badass.
With those weird guns.
Stasers.
I like weird
Stasers.
guns. I like it when there's weird guns in different parts of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
those,
don't think it's weird. It's just different.
well, who would like? It's like a game controller, except not. Like you've pulled out a steering column from a Toyota Prius, and
Yep. Yeah, get it, but don't cross the streams.
no.
And she wraps it up, and we have a wonderful football moment in a second here.
This is in the trailer too, I believe, wasn't it?
Was it?
I don't know who Siobhan Chamberlain
And the fact that
is,
she's
but
like she's
know what
narrating
soccer.
it herself,
Yeah.
like a kid, just
like
tickles
Rose,
me. Pink.
just like Rose when she's like, I got the bronze when she was swinging around.
Was she
saving.
narrating herself doing that though?
She was. Yeah.
I thought she was just explaining what she was doing.
Well, That's kind of narrating, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's not like what Yaz was doing here was like pretending to be her own play-by-play announcer.
Right.
So I just feel like that's higher on the cute meter than just saying, that what you're doing.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah on the gymnastics team. I got the bronze, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which was also cool. Don't get me wrong. I like that moment.
Now, what about this pilot bit? Was that there?
They had to
Jury rig?
They had to pull up the floorboards.
Okay.
And pull out the like emergency.
Oh, was
stuff.
it? Okay, good.
And then he's the engineer. At least
Yeah. That's what he was. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember at the time I was thinking, how did they like mock up this pilot? But I suppose it's part of the actual thing, and then like it's not like a Spitfire in space.
No.
Where it's very.
I think, this is a ship that is flown on automatic, so it makes sense that you've got some manual backup controls for when they're needed.
Right.
But you put them under the floor when the aesthetic is this smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Although I admit this looks a little silly.
You tried doing it.
She's selling it though. Look at her.
She is piloting it like either a Jem'Hadar ship, speaking of DS9, or those little guys from Last Starfighter. Remember the little alien guys? They had the little
Vaguely.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No.
We have thunder happening like outside at the same time as the ship is shaking, and it's perfect. Oh, she's so happy.
I kind of wish that if we saw like her perspective, her point of view, what is she seeing on the
I don't need to.
Looking on the Google Glass there.
I don't want to see it. I think the important thing is her face and how much she has missed it and how much she's enjoying it. And then the cut immediately to her brother, who is seeing her probably for the first time ever, actually in the process of doing that thing that she loves, and he realizes just how much it means to her, and he gets that look of realization on his face. It's just a really touching moment that just goes by real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I forgot her ectospleen.
Yeah, she sometimes forgets too, but
one of the benefits of being a Time Lord and old is it going, my ecto's acting up.
yeah,
Or it's acting up. Acting up. Yeah.
acting up. Particle accelerator. Where has that appeared in Doctor Who before? Particle accelerator. Did Master have one in Ultimate Foe? I don't know. It sounds familiar to me. It wasn't a megabyte.
No, we had a megabyte modem.
Yeah. This is kind of this is convenient. Like, okay, she's the Pting eats the Sonic, so it's out of commission until right when she needs it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It reboots itself at the speed of plot.
The speed of
Nothing can go
plot.
faster than the speed of plot.
Mm-hmm. And nothing can go slower than the speed of plot
true.
when needed.
If you're in
Jokes.
And yes, I am keeping score. Fun.
And apparently they keep their bomb in an old school CD-ROM tray.
I love it. What else?
Damn it, it's a DivX.
Yeah.
It's going to eat everything anyway.
Reduce,
A
reuse.
little call back to the early 2000s there.
Mm-hmm. DivX. You know what? I don't even know what DivX is apart from some of the videos I would like get from the internet and had this like
Well, that
DivX
was
watermark
joke
on it.
on DivX.
Yeah, that was a spoof on. DivX was a platform where you would rent a disc like you would from Blockbuster or whatever, but you'd have a limited window of playback.
Uh-huh.
And so there's like digital rights management that like after 48 hours or whatever it was would lock the disc. So the same disc could be rented out over and over and over. You just reissue like an unlock key.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't really cost any less than a DVD, or I don't think substantially less. So
yeah,
there's one guy we both worked with who was like, I'm going to get DivX. I'm like, what is the point? Why would you do that to yourself? You're only benefiting Disney, not yourself. Like, come on, that's crazy.
I worked at Circuit City, and we were pushing DivX.
Circuit City.
Yep.
Wasn't Circuit City one of the groups behind DivX's creation?
That wouldn't surprise me. That'd probably be why.
I think so. Yeah,
I know Disney was big on it, like Warren was saying. Like you're not gonna have any success with any media platform if you don't have giant media companies behind you. And I can't remember who all was behind DivX, but I want to say like
Philips
Spielberg
was
or
yeah,
DreamWorks rather.
What is a pentagonal number? What does
I
that
don't
mean?
know what that means, but just the fact that she's like, okay, pick a number, and it's 51. I'm sure there's probably a reason for why Yaz picked that, but I just think it's funny.
Another
By
number.
the way, I just like to point out that our streaming world is essentially DivX anyway. One day X-Files is on Netflix, and one day it ain't. So,
Yep.
Well, there's that,
so it's DivX
that
writ large.
there's that foofara as we record this. The foofara recently about Microsoft pulling the rights to, I think it was digital books.
Books. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people
That's
who
happened with
paid
Apple
for
too,
those
yeah.
people who paid for those books no longer have access to them because the server that controls the rights management is offline.
Yep.
Buy them on paper, people. Nobody can
tell
take those
you-
away.
Yeah, this is.
Well, people can still take them away. It's just
yeah.
a lot harder.
This is why I've started to
And
like
heavier.
build up my collection of movies again on Blu-ray. Just,
Ugh, I hate stuff.
I do too, but like I want to watch a movie.
I'd rather have a file that may or may not disappear
Yeah.
than
Oh,
a
really?
shelf full of
I've
books.
got
Oh.
5 bookshelves and counting. It's getting ridiculous. So and
Well, if you-
and let's see what else. I've also got a ottoman full of books. So yeah, count me in another category.
If
had-
you have digital content, that as long as you're able to like
Copy it
download
over.
a copy of it, you can make infinite copies of it, so you always have one available.
Yep.
But
Well, hello,
As-
Cory Doctorow.
but in the Microsoft example from a moment ago, if there's like a server that controls the ability to unlock and make
Mm-hmm.
available this content, then you can have all the copies you want. Doesn't mean it's going to be playable.
Yep.
Remember when you had a tech podcast, Warren? That was fun. We just broke into one there for a
Yeah,
little
it was
bit.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it was.
I've
But
actually
then
forgot the
it-
name of it, Warren. What was it called?
Platformer.ca.
Platformer.ca.
But it just took a lot of work and coordination, and I didn't have time for more than one. So
I know.
you can have bookshelf doctors, or you can have platformer. You can't have both.
That's true.
Oh, but what if you did
not-
platformer with the bookshelf doctors?
It's not a fair world.
I love the way
Which-
that the Pting just drops that circuit breaker, whatever the hell it was.
And so, Warren, in the vein of tech podcasts, which of your dollies would be Leo Laporte? Which one would be Alex Lindsay? Which one would be...
The war doctor would be Lil Laporte. Alex Lindsay would be Dr. McCoy, who's looking at me right now.
Who would
name
be,
some
who
other
would be-
ones.
Who would be I Justine?
Nobody. I can't stand her.
Okay. This guy's name is Yos, by the way, which is soy backwards.
Okay.
You can't
Or I should
say no
be
to
fair
that.
here. I can't stand her persona online. Whether or not that's what she's actually like is I couldn't tell you.
Get a shift on.
That's the catchphrase.
Which I did not hear that way
No.
at first. I'm like, what'd she just say?
I love how she gestures with the Sonic. It is so epic.
I like the salute here that she gives. Well, for us, I like that he doesn't. He just he takes the explosion.
Food coma. Food
Yeah.
coma.
He seems to be enjoying himself.
That's like me on Thanksgiving.
I love this salute that she does here.
Yeah, that's me at Christmas
Bye-bye,
for sure.
Right. I like it. Wee.
It's like a don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way
Yeah.
out kind of salute.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, just let me die happy. Yeah.
Oh, he's not going to die.
No.
He's just going to, have a bit of a tummy ache.
He lives in space. That's where he lives. Like the space whale.
Yep. Oh, things are about to get sad.
Yeah. Chekhov's illness. If you show literally, if anyone coughs in the first act of a play, they can that person's
Oh,
dead.
totally.
They're out.
She's wearing a hood, much like the people who are zombies in the black hole. This is a deliberate homage, I'm sure.
Obviously.
Ah.
Oh, that's a freaky movie. I never watched it when I was a kid, but I had the Shreddy's toys when that man Maximilian. God, that's a legitimately terrifying villain.
Lost in
yeah.
Space was also recently announced as coming out on Blu-ray. Speaking of Blu-rays and completing collections and collecting
Which one?
stuff.
That awful Netflix show? You mean?
No, he's talking
No,
about
Black
the
Hole.
movie
Sorry,
with
Black
the...
Hole.
Oh,
Did I say Lost in Space?
you said Lost in
Hole.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good Netflix show, by the way. Very
It's not good at all. I was
Well-
bored crapless watching it.
Well, we are speaking with the one person who loved Tsuranga Conundrum, and apparently we're speaking with the one person who loves the Lost in Space.
No, I know another friend of mine thought it was really good too, and there's a lot of Vancouver locations which he enjoyed. But I was like, this is dull as dishwater. I couldn't care less.
Oh, I lapped that up like candy.
Yeah, can't say I did. Just like Farscape. I tried Farscape, couldn't do it.
That's
So did I.
Right?
No, it was the Mulder one. I thought we established this before.
Oh,
How dare you.
right.
Yeah.
No, it's not Babylon 5, dummy. Come on.
Oh,
Which is not on Canadian Netflix. Not Canadian Netflix. Canadian Amazon.
Amazon.
Which
No,
it is
it
on
isn't.
American Amazon. This is annoying.
it's terrible.
Lots of stuff are annoying.
Canada.
Yeah. Well, internet.
Yeah.
We have some stuff here that that they don't have in America, and I don't just mean healthcare.
Freedom,
I'm sure there's-
for one.
Yeah.
Medicine for another.
Yeah.
Democracy so far.
Yeah.
What is
Cold?
pilot's
Yeah,
heart,
lots
by
of
the
cold.
way?
They have that in America, too. I say this the day before I go down to America, so maybe I shouldn't.
Well, it's not coming out for a while, so you've got a few weeks.
And I am going to California, so not the other America we don't like.
You have been in California.
Yep, send the emails directly to me.
Yeah, and you're keeping them, right? You're keeping him, even though you
No
didn't
pressure,
want...
dude.
Yeah.
Totally pressure,
Even
dude.
though it was basically a one-night stand, wasn't it? Like, I remember how he got pregnant 7 days ago.
Maybe one night stands the way things happen on his world. Maybe that's a religious option there.
Nah, he seemed a little sheepish about it when he was
Okay,
when he was
gotcha.
explaining it.
Ah.
Poor Ryan, still not giving the knuckles to Graham.
No.
At this point, we're only mid-season.
Mm-hmm. Is that the same blanket that wrapped up the Pting? And
No, it's a slightly different color. I think.
Is it? I think it's the same blanket.
Maybe it is. I felt like that one was golder and this one's silver.
Well, don't ask me, but I thought it was silver.
Well, I could be wrong. Or it could have been the lighting. Different lighting.
Always lighting.
Yep.
Like this could be the Warriors of the Deep set if you flooded it.
Oh, God.
It's not that the set is
Don't.
bad; it's just that the light flooding it is bad.
I never thought about that. Like, there are proper ceilings on this set, and yet there is light somewhere.
I love that line from the doctor. People prevail. Hope prevails. Like, we need that. We need that message. Oh, that's right. The baby's called Avocado. Avocado pear.
I do love that. That that the Agent Earth, like, how much are we getting wrong in our own history? That, of course, is probably other cultures out there in the 67th century that have completely got it wrong.
And an avocado is a fruit, whether it's an avocado pear or not.
Avocado pear.
Fruit.
That's all I only know about avocado pear thanks to Bygone from Fort of Doomsday. Oh, small river fruit.
People 100 years from now are going to go, I can't believe they did that, those savages. Which there's going to be something we just completely take for granted. They're going to be like, I can't believe they did that.
Like most
Smoking,
of our
let's
modern
say.
medicine, probably.
Vaping. Like,
Given when this was filmed and such, I'm surprised it's not avocado toast.
That would have been pretty funny.
that is getting to be an annoying trope of...
It is. It's past its expiration
I think
date.
it's gone now, yeah.
Like
Like many
too
avocados.
soft
I know a
avocado.
couple millennials who say, I like eating it, but it's a dumb thing to be stereotypical about. And I'm like, yeah,
it's
it is.
weird. I also friggin' love avocado toast. I wish I could have some right now.
I didn't think it was a real thing that people actually ate until I saw it on a brunch menu in New York. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
it is a real thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was an internet
So
joke.
good.
We saw it in the grocery
Just like
store.
the Tide Pods. I'm like, people are eating those? What? Seriously?
Oh,
That's
like a year ago. That's an eternity ago.
I know, but it
Internet
was.
time.
I couldn't believe this was actually a thing people were doing.
Oh, I know. Middle class kids need something to do with their time. So they have to eat things that they're not supposed to, like cinnamon and Tide Pods and I don't know what's going to happen. Nails. They're going to be eating nails at this point. Kids don't eat nails.
Yeah, we tend to think that our childhoods in the 70s and 80s were incredibly unsafe, and they were.
Yes.
But what are these
Lawn
kids
darts.
doing? Eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, exactly.
We had Mr. Yuck to tell us not to do that.
And Astar the robot.
And Astar the robot, that's right.
To put it in your mouth.
Oh God, don't start.
You guys need to do an American Con just about Astar the robot.
Oh, it might happen.
It might happen.
And the hippo. You just combine all those commercials and PSAs together.
This is interesting because this is the second time this season that the doctor has attended a funeral for somebody who died in the course of her adventure. That is super, super unlike what we have had from
That's
previous
true.
runaway doctors.
Yeah, they just bail.
bolt, yeah.
Yeah, and like the first time, so when she's there for Grace's funeral, she just attended. Here, she's actually participating and like chanting. She knows the lines, and she's participating. And then
She's leading a funeral. She's leading a wedding in the next episode.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is this before or after
Demons?
Demons of the Punjab. Yeah, so then
which is
like,
one of the best parts of one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So she's much more participatory.
Are there 2 other funerals that she goes to in this series? And we could call it 4 funerals and a wedding.
Well, speaking of Demons of the Punjab,
Just need 2 more.
Yeah. Yeah, demons.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
I like the way of Next Times.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, I like them there at the end of the. That's one of the many great things that Steve Moffat instituted is Next Time trailers at the end of the credits as opposed to right after the the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I agree.
That was annoying.
Mm-hmm. It was, but I don't think this episode is annoying. And having you on
No, it
board
was fun.
sure wasn't either.
It was more palatable this time around.
Good.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was fun. I love this. I love this one. It is no word of a lie. It's my favorite episode of this season.
Well, I'm glad you were able to watch it then with us here on this here podcast, Radio Free Skaro.
Thank you for letting me talk about it.
You betcha. Do you know what's going to be happening on Verity in late September when this is going out, enough to be talking about it now on this podcast?
If I had the spreadsheet in front of me, yeah, I probably would.
Okay.
But we're probably talking about something related to the number 7.
That's right. You're in the number 7 year because you're in your 7th year of Verity.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Does that mean the Doctor who is number 7?
Yes, that's part of it.
Bye. Gotta go.
Yeah, it's season 7. So John Pertwee's first season, the 7th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Also, occasionally we have been doing 7th stories of a particular season or series.
Which are very
Oh, dear
rare.
God, that's the censorites.
Yeah.
Well, we already did the censor rights. Sadly, nobody else would agree to do it again, even though I wanted to.
There's nothing sad about that, actually.
It deserves a rewatch. No. It deserves a reappraisal.
Yeah. So, like, basically anything related to the number 7.
Nice.
So, and there's a lot you can do with 50 plus years of Doctor Who to get a bunch of 7s out of there. So,
or 8s next year.
It's been fun. I don't know if we'll go on crazy 8s. Probably not.
You're just going to start going through numbers on Verity podcast. That'll get tough quick, but it's commendable. Good work on Verity, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You bet. This is where we take a pause in our commentary series because even though it's mid-July, we've anticipated that there's going to be a big Doctor Who thing happening at New York Comic Con, which is happening in October. So the next episode will actually be all about New York Comic Con, and then in 2 weeks' time, so we'll get back to our commentaries, hopefully as scheduled with Demons of the Punjab. So I hope you all join us then. So until next time, I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
We're in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro, subscribe to us on iTunes, and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.